NFL free agency is almost here, and our friends over at PFF put out an article predicting where the big guys were going to sign, and they had Stefon Diggs, a veteran wide receiver, put pen to paper to sign with the Giants in their article. Before I share my thoughts on if the Giants should do that, I want to hear from you. Do you think Joe Schoen should go out and sign Stefon Diggs? Need a receiver. If you enter the year with Wan'Dale Robinson as wide receiver 2, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. As for sign, P for pass. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Stefon Diggs was predicted to sign a contract with the Giants in free agency. PFF says this. Diggs' torn ACL in Week 8 will make for an interesting free agency period between the 31-year-old wide receiver and teams this offseason. Prior to going down, Diggs showed no signs of slowing, on pace to produce his 10th straight campaign with a 77.0 plus PFF receiving grade. With the Giants holding a top 3 draft pick, expectations are that they will make a play for one of the top QBs in this class. Pairing Diggs' experience with Nabers would provide a young passer with quality weapons in the receiver game and an ample opportunity to produce quickly. I agree with a lot of that. I do agree with that. And I do think that Stefon Diggs still has some stuff to offer to this league. But the facts are the facts. He's 31 years old. He's probably looking to get a decent contract out there. And it's been a while since Stefon Diggs, was really a baller. Look, this year, I'm not going to take too much from it. Only played 8 games, but he was on pace for 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. So I'm cool with that. Last year, I feel like the stats don't really replicate what happened. 1,183 yards, yes. 8 touchdowns, yes. But over his final 11 games in 2023, he averaged 5.3 catches for 51 yards per game. His last 100-yard game was Week 6 in 2023 versus the New York Football Giants. And he had just 3 total touchdowns in the final 11 games last year. Look, the Giants absolutely need a legit wide receiver too. They got to go out and add more playmakers. If your receivers next year are Malik Nabers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Jalen Hyatt, you're going to be, again, one of the worst offenses in the NFL. He is projected to get a decent bag. At PFF, they say he's going to get a 1-year, $16 million deal. That's no chump change. That's a lot of money, and that's a big commitment to a 31-year-old wide receiver coming off an ACL. If there's any 2 people, though, that I trust to have a proper evaluation of Diggs and to see if he is the guy that the Giants should go out and get, it is Joe Schoen, it is Brian Daboll. Daboll was the offensive coordinator for Diggs in Buffalo for multiple years, and Joe was the assistant general manager of Buffalo for Diggs for multiple years. So if Joe and Daves think it's a good idea, I will trust their judgment because they do know him. I know there's a lot of talk about he's a drama queen. Forced way out of Minnesota, absolutely. Forced way out of Buffalo. Couldn't get along with Josh Allen. That's a big red flag for me. But C.J. Stroud loved him in Houston this year. C.J. Stroud said he wanted him back this year. I don't know if that's because he's one of those guys that wears out his welcome after a year. But supposedly he was nothing but a pro for Houston this year. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this for me. I don't love paying big money to a declining 31-year-old wide receiver coming off a torn ACL. It's been more than a calendar year now that he's at 100 yards receiving in a game. And the final 11 games in 2023, he was just average. He was solid for the Texans this year, but I didn't think he was a needle mover. I personally would not pay him $16 million per year, and I don't really have that big of a want to go out and sign him. But if Joe and Daves thinks it's the move, I can understand it because they spent years with him in Buffalo. If it happens, we're going to make a video. So subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Hit the big red sub button down below. The analytics tell me 50% of the people that watch these videos subscribe. I think about it like this. If the other 50% subscribed, we'd be at 100,000 subscribers. So help a Giants fan out. Let's get to 100K. Coming up next, we're going to answer questions from subscribers. So if you want to get your question featured, hashtag Giants in the comments, and we'll get to it later. Make sure you are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Game Time. It's the best place to get your tickets. And you can go to the Super Bowl with Game Time. Super Bowl. Best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. And you get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get to see your seat view in the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone. It's easy to resell your tickets if you flake last second, a la Patrick Seatman. Also, views from the seat in the app, meaning if you're deciding between two tickets you want, you get the view from this one, and you get the view from this one, and you can decide which view you like the best. Also, these two features, all-in pricing and game time picks, makes it that much more easy to see your favorite people perform. All-in pricing, price you see is the price you pay, and the game time picks feature is going to help you go see your favorite people perform for the best price. It's more than just sporting events. You go to concerts, you can go to theater events, you can go to comedy shows, and so much more. If they're selling tickets, you can probably get it at Game Time. So download the app, create an account, use that promo code CHAT SPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Let's start with Jalen Hyatt as him. Says, I think Brian Burns played great this season. What do you think? I do think so as well. And I know there's a lot of talk out there that the Giants should have made the trade and it was a bad trade. They shouldn't have done it. I think it was a great trade. Did you give up a lot? Yeah. Did you pay him a lot? Yeah. But he's a damn good football player. And I think when the Giants are playing with the lead a little bit more and they have more help around him, he's only going to shine stronger as a star. I'm a fan of his game. I'm a fan of the man that Brian Burns is. Could have easily quit last year. Could have easily went on IR. Fought through injury every week. Played his ass off. And he made big plays as well. I think this will be the worst he ever played as a Giant. And if you asked me to do the trade again, I would. John Dottie, how would you rank the 5 QBs last year in Cam and Shador? So I'm going to go off of my pre-draft grades for 2023. Or 2024, I guess that was. I had Caleb Williams QB1, Drake May QB2. I had Jane Daniels QB3, J.J. McCarthy QB4, Michael Penix QB5, and Bo Nix QB6. If I were to add Cam and Shador into those, keeping grades the same and strictly using my grading system, I have obviously Caleb 1, I have Drake 2, Jaden 3, Cam 4, JJ 5, Shador 6, Penix 7, and that would mean that Nix is 8. That's how I would rank those 8 quarterbacks, strictly based off their college. I'm not going to change my grades to make myself sound smarter. I'll stick to this. I'm true to this, not new to this. Mike G. Marsh, thoughts on trading Kayvon Thibodeau and taking Carter at 3? Assuming no QB on the board, you, sir, doesn't appreciate you. If quarterbacks go 1 and 2, I'm taking Travis Hunter. I have Travis Hunter above Carter, and I'm just going to take him. I think he's the best player in the draft that's not a quarterback, and I also think that the Giants have a bigger need at his position. BPA, that's how I'm playing this year. But for me, I would rather have Hunter and Thibodeau instead of Carter and a third-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeau. That's how I look at it. Vasquez, we get Warren, Shador, Sanders. You prefer they start or get a bridge? I don't have a preference. Excuse me. I don't have a preference. Whatever they need. It's lame. I get it, but whatever they need. If they need time, give them time. If they're ready to play, let them play. But before I get to the draft, I'm getting a quarterback that I feel comfortable starting week 1 because you don't know if either of those guys will be there. Rob Jigga. Hunter goes first. Love that. Raiders trade up for 2nd overall and take Sanders. Love that. Then the heavens open up and Ward falls to the Giants at 3rd. This is a scenario I'm praying for. Same here. This would be a dream scenario. It would be an A+ for me. I really only think there's one way I give an A+ grade for the first-round pick, and it's if Cam Ward falls to 3. And it's the only way I'll give an A+ grade. Lock and change, though, from now to draft day. What's up, real libertarian? Picture this, Winston throwing to Nabers and Hunter. All right, let me picture it. Touchdown, pick, touchdown, pick, touchdown, pick, pick, touchdown, touchdown, pick, touchdown, touchdown. They don't call him Jameis 30 for 30 for nothing. It'd be fun. It'd be exciting. I can think of a lot worse situations, that's for sure. The realist in the city. Yo, Marsh, why are you so down on Dart? I'm not down on Dart. I'm just not ready to say he's QB2 like you guys are. He did break Eli's records. Doesn't really Graham Harrell set like all the college records ever. Cam Ward set the record for most passing touchdowns ever in a college career. I'm not looking at records. Dart is a third-round quarterback, in my opinion. That's my grade on him, a third-round quarterback. If the Giants pick him in the third round, I think it makes some sense. I'm just not the biggest fan of drafting mid-round quarterbacks because Dart's not ready to play. He's not. And if he plays right away, I think he'll struggle. And if he struggles and he plays, it means the Giants are going to be bad. And if you're bad, you're picking at the top of the draft. And if I have a quarterback that I like at the top of the draft in 2026, I'm going to take him. And that means I would have wasted a second-round pick on Jackson Dart. I just like taking quarterbacks in round one. Guys that I have a strong conviction that could be a franchise quarterback, not a dice roll. Is Geno an option? Yeah, Geno's an option. They could trade him. They could cut him. They could extend him. They could restructure him. TBD on what Geno and the Seahawks will come to an agreement on. For DK, not interested in DK Metcalf. You already traded a pick and a lot of guaranteed money for Brian Burns. I don't want to continue to operate in that pool of trading, priority pick, and giving big money to proven players. You just can't build a football team consistently by doing that. Crazy Blue Chris, what up, man? I'm a huge Higgins fan. Who isn't? Yeah. But you really want to pay him all that money when he's missed 5 games 2 years straight? I feel like we need reliability more than anything. I understand that. I do worry a little bit about the durability. I cannot lie. I worry a little bit about the durability. But man, that talent's not hard, not easy to find. It's hard to pass up on. But I have him as on my big board free agent number 2. And I only think the Giants can pay big money to one free agent. And if I am, I'm going to pay Trey Smith. I'll ask you guys. Pick one to pay because you're not getting both. If you are, I'm going to be so happy to be wrong. Pick one to pay. Type TH for T. Higgins. Type TS for Trey Smith. Let me know. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up. Let's go Big Blue.